Welcome to Mob Talk. Jason Harris guides our live weekly show with numerous automotive experts talking anything and everything automotive. Turn up the volume and let's get ready to rock.
What is the worst thing that a vendor can do, or the worst thing you have seen a vendor do? I'd love to hear what you guys got. Sean, I know you got some stories here. I know probably all you guys do.
Now, as this is Michael speaking.
Go ahead, Michael. What's up?
As someone who talks for a living, hearing any vendor, whether they're trying to pitch a dealership or anybody, a vendor who doesn't know when to shut the fuck up.
I'm with you on that one, man.
Like, I have built my voiceover career taking a very consultative approach when pitching fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
I see so many people in different facets because I used to be an IT sales guy before I became a voice actor full time. And people are so quick to just feature dump just everything that they've done. Like, if I'm going to call, Charles's boss, right? Because Charles and I, we've met in numerous rooms. If I'm going to call Charles's boss and try to pitch, Newton Ford Group on how they're building a new store, do you think he gives two shits that I've done voiceover work for Bacardi and Mountain Dew? No. And it's just, well, look at me. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares for heated seats in Phoenix.
Exactly.
So just a vendor that doesn't know when to shut up and listen.
No, dude, I'm with you on that.
In Phoenix?
I used to live
in Albuquerque. I live in Florida. I mean, I just bought a new car last year. But I'm one of those guys that is happy to give referrals to people, if they're, a good rep. I'm still a sales guy at heart. I went to 3 different Nissan dealerships before I bought my Nissan. I could have gone to the closest one to me, but that's not who I bought from. The one guy said, it's got heated seats. I'm like, I live in Miami. You think I give a shit about heated seats? I live in Florida.
You're going to need those air-conditioned seats, right? You gotta cool the bottom there, man.
Totally agree. Okay.
All right.
I'll tell you what, Michael. Next time you need a Nissan or another vehicle, just give me a call. I'll ship it to your house.
There you go.
You know what? The dealership that I bought from, again, this was last summer. This was last June that I bought it. We were still kind of in the middle of the pandemic, if you will, right? It was March of last year. We were in the thick of it. This guy is the only rep that didn't tell me to come into the dealership, because that's another stigma, to Jason's point, of people like, oh shit, now, they just want to get me into the dealership. This guy mentioned nothing about coming into the dealership. He said, great, I've got options. Would you like me to come to your house and show you a few options? Let me know what day and time works for you. Mentioned nothing about having me come in and test drive.
That's awesome.
Because he read what I said. I had done my homework. I knew what I wanted to pay. I gave him my credit score up front. I was very transparent from the get-go. I was very black and white. We don't have to dance around the subject and do the salesy dance. Here's what I want. Here's my proof to back up why I'm saying what I want. I'm not saying I want a Hellcat for $199 a month with a 400 credit score. And he was like, cool, I'll come to your house, give you options in black, blue, and that burnt orange you want. Perfect. And that's where I bought from. And I'm done speaking.
Burnt orange, good choice, by the way. All right. Worst thing a vendor's ever done is the current topic. All right. Love to hear what any fish stories. In fact, I will share one real quick. And maybe this will kind of inspire you guys. But no, Michael, I'm with you though. I think for a lot of vendors out there, the biggest mistake that they make is that they just don't shut the hell up. And I actually had a vendor come in and straight to my face tell me, all right, that they knew how to run my business, my dealership, better than I did. And if I was ever going to be successful, I needed to use their product. Now, I've been pitched many times, right? And this was the first time I actually had to physically, not just by words, but physically remove a vendor from my showroom. Like I actually had myself and one other person literally pick him up and take him out. I don't know if he was intoxicated. I don't know if he was on something, but this guy was getting insanely aggressive with me. And it was the first time I had to physically remove someone from my showroom. But no, I'm with you, Michael, man, 100%. All right. I think one of the biggest mistakes vendors make is they just don't know when to shut the hell up. And
I think,
go ahead.
Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead. What you
No,
got?
I was going to say, and I think the people that don't know when to shut up, they've kind of tricked themselves into thinking, well, if I'm showing my confidence and showing my enthusiasm, that'll separate me from the other vendors. But you're just talking and not really saying anything. Is the way that I see it.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, sir.
If this car thing doesn't work out, I know a couple bouncer openings.
Do you?
Yeah, they're Irish pubs, though. The color is green, not
Well,
orange.
I can't do that. I can't do green. You know that.
I was just say we bring Mr. Larkin up to Canada for a weekend. He'll help out.
Yeah, no kidding. I think, Mike, you are going to have to come up for a weekend for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Marco, I don't know if you can answer, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this, man. You have been a sales manager. You've been pitched many, many, many times. All right. What is the worst thing a vendor has ever done or said to you?
Geez, the worst thing they've ever done was not call me. I had one guy who I was sold on his product. I was in love with the product. I'm like, yes, I need you in my dealership like yesterday, please. It was so 18 wheelers, I believe, use this technology, but basically it's almost like a film that they put on the windshield, and it prevents stone chips and cracks in the windshield. So I'm sitting there, and the cost was reasonable and everything else. I'm like, yeah, like this sounds great. I want it now, like please. And then he just ghosted me, and I had to chase him for a week until I got a hold of his boss, and his boss was like, we might have jumped the gun. It's not ready for cars yet. We're sorry. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, but you guys approached me and you've sat down with me, you've sold me on it and everything else before you did your R&D. Really? Oof.
Wow.
And yeah, that's the one that comes to mind because obviously you get pitched as a sales manager, you get been pitched people like vacation cards or something like that you give away with every client. You remember they used to give away cruises and trips to Vegas?
Oh,
so you
yeah,
would pay $300. And you would have to work part time on the ship as a waiter or something. I don't know. They got it that cheap, but yeah, it's those things were always horrendous to deal with.
Dude, I think I still actually have in my desk a handful of those Las Vegas trips. I don't think they probably were paid for like 6 years ago, and I think they maybe expired at this point. But I'm with you on that.
Was the side of the strip of Vegas that you never even heard of?
A hotel that doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah, the one that got the Sands. Right?
Yeah.
One that got bombed.
I got to sign off here, guys. I just want to say thanks, Jason. I appreciate it. I love listening. Appreciate it, guys. Hope you all have a good night.
Thanks, Chris. Have a good one, man.
See you, pal.
Thanks, Chris, man. See you later.
We have been talking about the stigma of being a car salesman. We're currently talking about the worst thing a vendor has ever done. Charles, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And Sean, if you're back, man, I'd love to kind of hear your thoughts too. And Mike, since you are a vendor, I would love to hear your thoughts. Any war stories that you have around what is the worst thing a vendor has done or can do?
I think I have one here.
All right, throw it at us, brother.
15 years, if not 16 or 17 years. And when I first started in digital marketing, we had the reputation sound. There's no question. But then we started other platforms like Traffic. And my network heard about that we were dabbling in big data traffic. And we had the relationship with 20 of the biggest big data companies in the world. And companies like Oracle and Dun & Bradstreet and all these. And what they do is just mine data. And data for the sake of data is useless unless you can point it into some direction, which is an audience. So we perfected that, and everybody wanted that. And so I gave the people what they wanted, and I collected way more money than I've ever have in my career. And 3 months, 6 months, and 9 months, most of those people came back to me and said, "We're done with you, Larkin." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I have reports here that I've sent to you, tens of thousands of leads. Who's answering your fucking phone? Oh, sorry. And they go, "Well, the traffic isn't converting." Well, whose problem is that? And come to find out, it was my problem, because I didn't have time for these egomaniacs that wanted traffic.
Yep.
Because most of that traffic, I go back to the 87% that go check out their business on a Google or Facebook or whatever, check out the reviews, and they go shopping and they buy from their competitors. So they were actually paying me to go to see them and buy from their customers. That's what they were pissed off about. So I learned that day, my strategy has changed. I'm going to focus on reputation. And if they don't like it, I got my competitor's card that I'm going to give them with my card. When it doesn't work, you can come back to me. But major mistake on my part. And I was humble enough to look in the mirror and say, it's my fault.
Hey,
and
you know what? That's the coolest part is you're willing to own your failure.
Like that says a lot, if I hadn't done that, I would still be the bartender at Murphy's Pub.
That's a good one, Mike. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Hey, Brian, thanks for jumping back in with us. I'd still love to hear from.
Sorry, I was on a call. I just got home from work. So.
No worries, man. Hey, I'm glad that you can kind of hang out with us. So, Brian, the topic that we have right now, and I'd love to hear from Sean, Brian, and Charles as well before we move on to the next one, is what is the worst thing that a vendor has done or said to you?
Wow. So I'm like the gatekeeper when it comes to vendors. Like,
so I'd love to hear, because I know you got some stories, bro.
Yeah, it's just they just try to butter up, and I don't want to name names or name places. It's just I get a lot of people pitching products. Obviously, it's gonna sell us more cars and drive more traffic and everything like that. And so one in particular contacted me, sent me an email. It was sent to our sister store, Valley High Nissan, and I was like, I'll play along. We're Valley High Toyota, so we're gonna try to pitch something, get it right. And it just said how much traffic they were driving for another dealership that's comparable to ours, and in terms of they just don't, Jason. I mean, I'm trying to think of the particular one, so come back to me, because I want to get a good one.
You're going to think of a good fish story, I can guarantee it. Hey,
I'll step in.
Sean, I know you got some juicy ones, man, because I know you've been pitched like 100 times or 1,000 times.
Let me step in, man. Holy shit. Here we go.
Let's go. Here we go.
All right. Pick your poison. So I've been building BDCs for the last 20 years for Canada's largest dealer groups. Your Delaris, your Spinellis, Silver Star, Mercedes-Benz, etc. I'm over here in Montreal. So similar to Brian, I'm kind of the gatekeeper. People think, as the little guy BDC, he probably doesn't know shit. However, the problem that they do is that they don't do their homework. Now, one of the things that I am adamant about, because I understand how hard cold calling is. I really, truly do.
And someone's livelihood is based on that. So you know what? I make it a point to give them 5 to 10 minutes. Every single one. I'm like, yep, sure. What do you got, buddy? You know, just to try and make their lives easier. But one of the many times, you have to have your shit in order. Did you do your homework? So I got 2 stories out of many, but one of them just really, and you did say you were recording it, and you swore before. So Absolutely. One of them, he was in the same room as the dealer principal, the owner at the Silver Star, and I said, okay, dude, at this point, get the fuck out of here. Like, it really got crazy. So
nice. And Sean, I know you're a level-headed guy, so I can only imagine.
I am super level-headed, but when you're bringing, this is what I love to do. I love the car business. I love my art form, and my BDC is my art. Understanding and making it a point to take these cold calls to understand what's out there for me to level up. I don't think I know all the answers. I don't have them. It's all of the cold calls that are actually exposing me to different forms of AI, etc. So first things first. One of them was a major third-party dealer, which I won't name, Auto Trader. So,
sorry.
So who else? So Buddy Boy comes in. He's just blowing smoke up my owner's ass, and my owner obviously is just throwing money. And they're like, okay, for $15,000 a month, we could do this. And I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, we don't even spend 1% of our budget on people development, but you're going to give this guy $15,000. It was just beyond me. But anyway, his money. So one of the things that every month he would come in, and they had this new product called ICO, Instant Cash Offer.
Yep.
And they're basically pitching, okay, you're going to have exclusivity. So when he would come in their back and in their dashboard, and I am surgical with my data. I mean, surgical. Surgical. Like, my reports have reports just to make sure everything is in line. So he's there just pitching how well they're doing and trying to basically explain where our $15,000 went. And I see my owners just eating this guy's oatmeal. So I just had to stop it. And I was just like, okay, stop. First of all, I am telling you right now with my data, there's no way in the world that you send me 115 leads from this garbage source that you guys are having right now. What I'm seeing right now is 227,000 kilometers Toyota Siennas that are worth $1,000, and you want me to sell this guy a car? Like, are you kidding me right now? So essentially, their back end, the data that they were reporting.
Yep.
They hypothetically, if Jason sent me 3 different requests or 3 different leads, if you will, they were counting it as 3 leads. And I was arguing with this guy. I'm like, but it's not 3. I say, show me the day that one person can drive 3 cars. So when you're here telling my boss that for $15,000 we got 115 leads, when in fact it was actually closer to 60 leads, and out of 60 we closed 2 of them. If you do the math real quick, 2 divided by 15,000, are you shitting me right now? So he was just going back and forth, and he put his 2 feet in the sand, and we were just going back and forth to the point where I said, okay, dude, you just get the fuck out of my face right now at this point. Like, it got so heated. So the idea behind the story is just to know your data.
Yeah, man, that's a good one.
It's just to know your data, because if the problem that I'm seeing, and this is my humble opinion, but the problem that I'm seeing is we're always, as dealerships, they're always looking externally to these quote unquote experts to solve a problem. When in fact, that all the answers that you need are literally around you, right? So that's
so true.
That's problem number 1. Going to these quote unquote experts. So when he left, I started to look this guy up on LinkedIn.
Man, you took it one step farther, didn't you?
I had to, or I wasn't sleeping that night, to come to the fact that prior to being a lead expert, he spent 3 years selling shoes.
He's a fucking shoe salesman.
He was a shoe guy.
Al Bundy.
Al Bundy.
He was a shoe guy that Auto Trader just pulled in because he's in sales. So number one, do your homework, because if you're going to pitch me, you better have your shit in order.
No, look, though, I think that's a really good point. I think for a lot of vendors out there, do your fucking homework. Makes a big difference. All right. If you're going to come to play, I agree with you, man. I think some of the worst vendors I ever sat down and received a pitch from, they never effing did their homework. I mean, Terry, I know you get a lot of this too. I know all you guys get a lot of this too, is people reaching out to you on LinkedIn and asking you to do something. And it's like, did you even look me up? Did you even do your homework? Did you even do any research? Hey, Terry, thanks for joining us tonight, man. That's really awesome. I appreciate it. Tonight we are having a little fun. I'll reset the room real quick since Terry just jumped in, because the fact that Terry's in the room just means we should reset the room. What's up, Terry? This is Automotive Talk, a sit down with the Strategy Mob. We are recording this conversation, so please watch your fucking language. Tonight we're just having some fun. We got a handful of conversations, but right now we're doing some fish stories. We're saying what is the worst thing a vendor has ever done or can do. And Terry, I'd love to get your thoughts on it, because I think we've kind of rounded everyone out and got everyone's opinions on this before I change the topic.
This ought to be good.
Oh, man. Thanks for that. You set me up for failure.
I know. I never set you up for failure. Come on, man. How are you doing tonight, by the way? How are you?
I'm doing great. I had an appointment that went well, and I just finished up, so I apologize. I couldn't jump in earlier because I know this is always a great room. I love that one that was just talked about as far as not doing your homework, because that is just sales 101.
Right, Terry?
You have so much access and everything. It's so much access. I love the guy who comes in and overpromises and says, "My product will do this," when you clearly know your product cannot do that. The overpromise is just, and a lot of times I guess I swing the other way. I'll underpromise, going, "Yeah, I don't know if we can do that," and then you come back and tell them that you can't. But the overpromise really just it crushes me every time.
No, dude, I think that's an absolute classic mistake that vendors can make, is the overpromise. And boy, have I been overpromised many, many times. I actually, I remember a vendor showing up, and you want to know, and every one of you can probably admit this too, is the worst line, the worst thing a vendor can ever say is that, "Hey, as long as you sell one more car, it covers the cost. One more deal."
I love that line.
You love that line? Terry, you like that line, right?
I love that line. That one always cracks me up. Well, it's just one more car deal. You only have to sell one more car, and you can pay for my service. Or the one, I can double your current penetration or current profit margin or whatever. Double your leads. And you go, "Well, you haven't even asked me what my current profit margin is, what my current lead process is, what my current gross is. You have no idea what it is. How are you going to know if you're going to double it?" Well, we always do. We always double it. And so that one is one that cracks me up.
Dude, it is a classic. It is straight up a classic. In fact, actually, if any vendor ever sat down on the other side of the desk with me when I was a dealer principal and used that line, it was an instant veto. In fact, actually, I almost waited for them to say the line so I could say, "Nah, next." Because no, it's true though. What a horrible, horrible, horrible line a vendor can use is that it's only one more deal. Hey,
thanks for tuning in to Mob Talk. Feel free to like, follow, comment, or get a hold of me with any ideas for new content on future shows. Be sure to check out more amazing automotive content from our Strategy Mob captains and crew at strategymob.com.